Greetings, YouTubians. Well, welcome to yet another episode of Don't Worry, I'll Figure It Out As We Go. The plan today is to put a window in the side of our transit van. We're planning on taking a little bit of a cross-country trip in September, October. So I kind of want to get the van all set up with a little bit better ventilation. It's going to be me, Missy, and our two dogs is the plan is right now. So 2 people and 2 giant Great Danes in a transit van. What could go wrong? It's a wild weekend up here. It's actually the World War II fly-in weekend at the Reading Airport. So you'll hear all kinds of airplanes going by, really cool vintage stuff, and fighter planes and biplanes and all kinds of things. It's been cloudy and rainy all day, and it finally cleared up. So I'm running out here and trying to get something accomplished. Check it out. So the loose plan right now is to take out the inside, the inner wall in there, get all that out of there, and then go on the outside, measure it all up, and cut a hole to slide this window and seal it all up. That's one part of the deal. Then we're actually going to do another Maxxair fan deluxe on the roof. It's kind of an electric fan that opens and closes. You can keep it open during the rain. It's really, from what I can see, it's probably the best piece of equipment for this kind of thing. These vans are awesome, but sometimes they get a little stuffy in there, even with the air conditioning on. So I had put a ceiling in here over COVID, and I just took the center parts out so I can access that centerpiece there where I'm going to put this fan. So that might be a couple of days in the making, but like we always say, the first step of any journey is the first step. So the first step is going to be taking out this panel. That's basically the original interior that I just covered with some contact paper to make it look like wood. Looks pretty good. It's a little carving I did over there on the other side. But I'm going to take out all these little clips and get down to base metal. Pretty much assembled all the tools I think I'll need. Got a measuring tape, screw gun, jigsaw with metal blades, some tape, marker. So hopefully that'll be everything I need to get this thing done. So first things first, we're just going to pop some of these clips out with my trusty old screwdriver. I kind of just press fit, expand on the inside, hold this thing in place. Like I said, this is the stock interior on this. It's just kind of plastic sheeting. When I first got the van, I put some sound deadening material behind all this stuff so it wasn't rattling around like a lunchbox. So once we get them off, I'll take this panel off. Well, this is ready to come down. And of course, as soon as I started to do this thing, we're getting a invasion of these vintage warplanes going overhead. Really something. All right, that's off. Check this out. Whoa. Crazy men. All right, a little complication here. This insulation or sound deadening mat that I put in here is kind of tough to get off, but it's coming off. So I'm just going to kind of take my time and peel this stuff off and hopefully reuse it again. It does make a big difference in these vans. You know, they can have a tendency to sound like a big echoing lunchbox when you're flying down the road, but with this stuff, it works really well. I got that sound deadening stuff off. I'm going to leave those little panels of the factory stuff just because they're on there to stay. Actually, I got one more to take down at the end there, just to make sure. Okay, now for some of the nerve-wracking stuff. I'm going to place this template up there, take some measurements, and kind of see where I want this window to sit. I want it above the bed height, but not too high, and it's got to look even in there. So let's see how it goes. I think I like that. That looks about right. So I'm going to use this little step-up bit, kind of drill some pilot holes so I can get the blade of the jigsaw in there easily. Put this guy on here pretty good. Let's see. Well, here goes nothing. There's nothing quite like the anxiety of drilling a bunch of holes and taking a big piece of metal out of the side of your van. Like a great man once said to me, anybody can restore a car, but it takes a real man to cut one in half. So we're not cutting this in half, but gonna make a big hole in it. These airplanes are still dive bombing us around here. What a trip. Just want to get that hole big enough so I can get that jigsaw blade in there and cut this baby around. I kind of learned my lesson when I put that side window in on the other side of the truck over here. I really didn't put any protection down to catch all these metal shavings. You just don't want them floating around in the van. I don't want the dogs licking them or, you know, them collected somewhere and making a bunch of rust. So hopefully that'll do the trick if the wind doesn't blow it out. So let the fun continue. Got my old jigsaw here with a little metal blade in here. I guess we're gonna start to attack this thing. Here we go. Well, here goes nothing. Well, that went pretty easy. A little stressful, actually a lot stressful, and I didn't screw it up too badly. I kind of boogered it in some of these little spots here. I really should have put this painter's tape around the whole thing so I didn't scratch it. I got a little bit of a scratch around here, but I got a big old ding under this thing anyway. So function over form, I guess, at this point. So I guess I'm just gonna test fit the window. Actually, before I do that, I'm gonna take a file and just clean up all these edges a little bit, get them smooth. Use the vacuum to kind of pick up some of these shavings. There's a lot of metal shavings around, and I'm glad I wore these glasses. Safety last, we always say. Okay, just doing a little bit of a test fit on here. It's a little tight up here. I'm going to take this out and trim it up a little bit more. It's getting there. Sun's going down. So I'm going to trick a little bit and use a little power tool action. Got a little abrasive wheel on here just to cut down some of the burrs. And I've got a little high spot in there. I'm just going to work that out a little bit. I'm just going to clean up the edges here with a little acetone so that butyl tape will stick good. Any residual grease and crap, get all that off. Well, that pretty much does it for the day. Got that window in pretty good. Didn't lose any fingers or hands or nothing like that. Just got to do a little sealant on the inside. Have to put the molding on the inside to finish the whole thing out. But we got it done. It's gonna be cool. Give us a little air back there. Some airplanes flying around up there. We've been getting dive bombed the whole day. It's pretty cool, man. It's really another slice of history. So thanks for everybody for watching, and stay tuned. We're doing more cool stuff. Good morning, Riley. Look at that. Man, that's not something you see every day. That's a flying piece of history right there. Well, that was a long day yesterday. I figured I could get all that taken care of at one shot, but the install of the window went good. But the putting that inside trim ring on got a little trying. I didn't really think about those inside ribs, so I had to take a grinder and cut a bunch of stuff out. It was a giant pain in the ass. It was getting dark. I was getting frustrated. I had to go get something to eat. So I just threw all my tools inside, cleaned all up a little bit, and figured I'd leave it for today. So we're back on it now. Looks good from the outside. The inside has got a little bit more to go. Little crisscross pattern so it gets pulled in evenly. Dead battery. Well, like always, you get halfway through a job and the battery dies. These cordless tools are amazing, man. I read somewhere that they were actually invented for NASA. For using up in space, because that's a pretty long extension cord if you're trying to get to the moon. So I got the trim ring all set on there. Putting these screws in definitely pulls the whole frame of the window in, keeps it nice and tight. There's butyl tape on the outside, and I put a little bit of self-leveling seal on the inside. So I think between the two of them, it should be pretty good. I might even put another little layer of caulk on the outside. Now the real challenge is getting this guy back on and cutting the hole for that window. So, might take some figuring. So I think the plan is I'm going to go outside, trace the inside of that window from the outside, and then put this template up, which is the size of the window, cut that out, and see how that works. That's the plan. Whether it works or not is a whole nother story. So the plan is to use this template to cut this hole. I kind of marked it from the outside of the truck to the inside here. This is looking pretty even to the bottom here, and we'll give it a shot. So I'm just going to trace this out and commence the cutting. Well, round one did not look good. I pulled this template back and it just didn't really align where I thought it should be. So let's give this another shot. Talk about trial and error. It's a story of my life, man. So we'll see. We'll see. Well, that second measurement worked out a lot better, I think. So just taking one of my trusty shoe knives here and cut through this plastic. This shouldn't be too tough, I hope. We'll see. All right, this looks like it'll work. Okay, got that cut out. Didn't go too bad. A little difficult, but let's see what happens. So that pretty much puts a cork in today's project. I think it was a success. A little form over function, or function over form, actually. It's in there. I got that hole cut. I didn't really see that big gap in there. I didn't realize how far these walls are out from the actual outside of the van. But it works. It does what I wanted to. We use this van for a lot of different stuff. You know, we've got 2 Great Danes, a bunch of motorcycles, but at the trip, you know, you kind of get a little ahead of yourself sometimes, or I do. I want to get something done, and then when I'm in it, you know, I start to rush and all that. So I'm just glad I got it done. These little projects just make life fun. I always need something to look forward to. I was thinking about doing the roof in here, but it's looking pretty cloudy out, and I don't want to have a hole in the top of the truck and then have it downpour. I might actually take a little ride on the bike later if I can chase the rain. These planes have been flying over all weekend. 5 fighter planes in formation. Wow. Really an amazing thing. I wish I could have got over there today, but just wasn't in the cards. So, but I want to thank everybody for watching and supporting the channel and coming along on this weirdo journey that I'm on. I'm just trying to be authentic and show, you know, the blood, sweat, and tears of all this stuff. Who knows where it's going to go? I don't really even care. I just like doing this stuff, and but just trying to have fun. Do something creative every day. It's okay. So thanks again for watching, everybody. Stay tuned. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and please share too. I've been picking up some followers here and there, but slowly but surely, it's a process. See you later. I got the best seat in the house.